I want to try something crazy in Stardew Valley. There's a particular challenge that I don't think anyone's ever tried before, but I think could be a ton of fun and maybe one of the hardest ways to play the game. The idea for the challenge is simple. A game mode where every tile of the game starts locked, and I can only walk on tiles that I purchase with cash. Once purchased, that tile becomes unlocked permanently, but the more tiles purchased, the more expensive they become. I'll have to choose carefully how much of the farm I'm able to use, which areas outside the farm are worth unlocking, and which items and upgrades I'll even be able to acquire at all. I think it's fair to say it'll change the way the game is played entirely. Now, this concept might sound ludicrous, but the idea of being restricted in a strange new way, I think actually opens up a lot of doors to discover new strategies and unique aspects of the game that I don't think would ever be discovered or considered otherwise. I'm super excited to try this out. So, without further ado, welcome to Tile Locked Valley. Now, I want to explain exactly how this is all going to work and what my goals will be, but I think it'll make a lot more sense if I can just show you once I'm actually in the game. So, let's get it all set up real quick. First things first, I'm going to be playing as a female farmer for Tile Locked Valley. Believe it or not, this is actually a strategic decision that will come up again a little bit later. For her name, I'm thinking Tilly Locke. Anyway, I'm also going to be playing with an orange cat, since I actually have an orange cat, and I'm going to be using all of the standard settings except for remixed bundles and remixed mine rewards. And I'll be playing on the standard farm. I actually thought a lot about which farm layout I should try this on, and I ended up landing on the standard farm for this game mode for two reasons. One, I think it will give me the most authentic feel for the challenge. Two, it's probably the hardest farm for this challenge. Almost all of the other farms provide some kind of additional resources or even monsters directly on the farm, and that makes it feel like it kind of lessens some of the challenges that this game mode would impose. I may very well come to regret this decision, but for now at least, I feel pretty good about picking the standard farm. The only thing left is choosing what our farmer is going to look like. Alright, here she is. Tilly, the tile-locked farmer, ready to take on the world, one tile at a time. Here we go. Alright, let's actually break this down now. I want to explain how this all works, what the rules are, and what my end goal is going to be. First off, I've written a custom mod for the game that actually enables this game mode's restrictions and mechanics. So what you'll see on the screen is that locked tiles have this red overlay drawn over them, while unlocked tiles appear normal. I can also toggle this to show unlocked tiles outlined in green and locked tiles normally, or to hide all the tile overlays entirely. This is all purely visual, so I'll probably be switching between these depending on what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to show on the screen. Now, to unlock tiles, I use this new tool that I start the game with called the Unveiling Glass. With it selected, I can hover over any tile on the screen to see its cost and select that tile to purchase and unlock it. I actually start the game with 10 free tiles, or bonus tiles, so the first 10 tiles we unlock won't actually cost anything. After that, the first 10 tiles will cost 10 gold each, then 100 gold until I unlock 100 tiles, then 1,000 until I unlock 1,000 tiles, and then finally, they'll be capped at a whopping 10,000 gold each. Also worth noting that these tiles do actually prevent me from walking on them, like running into a wall might, but they don't block any other objects, NPCs, or monsters from being on those tiles, or prevent me from interacting with or using tools on anything in those tiles, assuming I can get close enough. Alright, what about the final goal? Where does this all lead? When does it all end? What is the finish line for Tile Locked Valley? Obviously, I could just freestyle aimlessly, see how far I get, end it whenever I get tired of it, but to me this game mode feels like it needs a well-defined goal, something to aim for, something to strive for. Perfection comes to mind, getting 100% in the game, but I want to set a goal I think I can actually achieve. And that if I feel up to it, I could even set a new goal and keep going after achieving. With all that in mind, I've settled on this goal: complete the community center. I think this goal includes a lot of what I want to explore. Completing the community center will require me to gather items from all the seasons, all the major areas of the game, while still giving me some wiggle room to decide exactly which items I'll be getting in order to complete each bundle, and of course, how and when I'll be going for each one. Don't get me wrong, this will still be extremely challenging, and I have no idea how long it will take. What I do know is that Tilly and I are not going to quit until that community center is repaired. I want to bring you along for the whole journey. So for the rest of the video, you'll get to watch the very beginnings of this challenge, seeing me learn about this game mode's difficulties, making some catastrophic mistakes, and overcoming ridiculous obstacles. And it all starts right here. So the first thing we're gonna do, obviously, is just unlock ourselves a path out. And we'll also need to get ourselves a path over to these parsnips here that we start with. So let's just go ahead and carve ourselves a little path. And we can check over here to see how many tiles we've unlocked, as well as how many bonus tiles we still have. So as you can see, that was the last of our bonus tiles, but we can go ahead and open our parsnips. All right, now when we step outside, we get this tile unlocked, and that was actually the first one that we've spent money on. So we're 10 gold down now, and if we look at our unveiling glass, sure enough, every tile costs 10 gold. So we're gonna need a path over to the shipping bin. That's gonna be like our holy grail early on, since that's the only way we can make any money off of anything and therefore unlock any additional tiles. So let's go ahead and start making a little path over to the shipping bin. We'll also get the mailbox unlocked, which is nice. And already you can see we've unlocked 10 tiles, so we're already up to 100 gold per tile. But we can go ahead and spend 200 to get those last 2 tiles, and now we can sell things. And normally, like, you would start your farm by clearing out a bunch of stuff and chopping down trees and getting a bunch of resources, using up all your energy, collecting things and making space, but we don't have that luxury. What we do have is a couple of things that we can reach. That's about it. And of course we can plant our parsnips. We can only unlock 2 more tiles with the money we have, so we're gonna have to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and see how many places we can farm. Okay, so we got 10 tilled spots. We can go ahead and plant all of our parsnips. We can start watering them, but the astute observer might notice that we don't actually have a way to refill our watering can. I think it starts with, well, I'm not sure how much it starts with, but probably not enough to actually grow all 15 parsnips to completion. So we're gonna have to hope we get lucky with some rain. The starter watering can only holds 40 charges. With parsnips needing 4 days of water each, this leaves us 20 charges short of being able to grow all 15 seeds we started with. So we will indeed need some rain if we want to harvest them all. All right, I think that's it for our first day. We're just gonna wait for these parsnips to grow, and then we can sell them in the shipping bin, and then we can get some extra cash and we can kind of go from there. So let's go back to bed. I guess we can rearrange our little home here to be a little more accessible for our limited tiles. There we go. Now I can at least turn on the fireplace. All right, we can watch TV. We can get into bed here. All right, day 2. We get a letter from Willie. Fishing is gonna be a long ways off for us probably, but let's go ahead and water our parsnips. Ah, perfect. Okay, so We got our first rainy day. I think this one is actually guaranteed. Like I think every time you start a game, it rains on the third day. As far as I know, that's the only guaranteed rainy day you get. So we got 10 free waterings, essentially, right? We saved 10 uses of our watering can. But from here on out, I think we just have to get lucky. To be more precise, each day in spring has an 18.3% chance of being rainy. Given that there's 25 days left in the season, we should expect to see about 4 or 5 more days of rain, which should be just enough. Alright, I think there's just one more day here, one day left on these. Let's go ahead and use up our water. Alright, last day. Let's get some parsnips. Let's make some money. Let's see how much we get. Let's go ahead and pick our parsnips. That is going to be a quest complete. So we get 100 gold. So that's like a whole free tile right there. That's pretty nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick these. Let's go ahead and sell those. We can plant the last 5 here and we'll give them a water. Alright, well, let's hope for some rain. And let's see how much those parsnips give us. Alright, first harvest, 350 gold coins, so that's, 3.5 tiles at our current price point. Not great, not a ton. So, yeah, we're gonna get like a little bit more from these, but I am officially, out of water here. That's tough. So we have enough money for 6 tiles. Here's the plan. Let me break it down. We don't have enough tiles, obviously, to get to Pierre's or to get really like any reliable source of seeds. Until then, we're going to be relying on trees. My plan was this. Wait for the rest of my parsnips to grow and use the money to unlock tiles to reach the nearest tree. From there, I would chop the tree, collect the seed that it drops, replant it, wait for the next tree to grow, and repeat, hopefully planting more and more trees and selling the wood and sap to unlock more tiles. That's right, wood and sap. Not cash crops, or even parsnips, not ores or gems or anything worth a decent chunk of money. Wood and sap. But that wasn't even my biggest problem. If you know this game very well, you might have already spotted a glaring hole in this plan. But I didn't figure this out until a little bit later. And so I followed my plan. For the next couple days, I waited patiently for rain to come and grow my parsnips, until I had the fortune of being visited in the night by a crop fairy. The crop fairy grew 4 of my 5 parsnips to maturity, which I then harvested and sold, and then went back to patiently waiting for more rain. That is, until I noticed an acorn, and soon discovered the hole in my plan. Okay, so the oak tree dropped an acorn. Unfortunately, it did not drop one any closer to me, and in fact, I don't even think this will grow into a real tree. But I guess I could also pick it out of the ground if I somehow make it there in time, and then I could choose where it goes. Interesting. I'm actually like heavily considering not waiting for this so that I can get to that acorn. Because if I can get to that acorn and pull it out of the ground, then I can actually decide exactly where I want to plant this tree. And I could plant it like, I think I could plant it even like right here, like in this spot. I have a bunch of tiles around it, so I could even, like, I'll make sure that I can get the stuff that it drops. That sounds really good, actually. Okay, wait, hang on. How many tiles is it? There's 1, 2, 3. I just need to spend 3 tiles and I could pick that up. And that would also put me next to the tree. Ugh, so stressful. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for it. I think we're gonna do this. So we're gonna spend 1, 2, 3 tiles. And we can get here and then I can just pick this up, right? Oh my god. Is that not how that works? Can you not just pick up acorns on the ground? Okay, hold up. I need to do some research. Oh my god. Okay, so here's what I had just read. In order to acquire an acorn, either from a tree or from the ground, you need a foraging level of 1. And this is true for all types of tree seeds. Step 4 of my plan was a bust. If I chopped down this oak tree right now, I would have no chance of acquiring an acorn. So my whole plan was flawed. I needed a new one, but for now, I just focused on harvesting my last parsnip. I definitely should have looked this up. I really didn't even think this was something I needed to look up because I've done this so many times. Like, I just assumed it was fine, but it turns out you need foraging level 1. Ugh, that was such a big mistake though. Yeah, we might be waiting a long time. Now, you might be wondering, you just wasted 3 tiles to get absolutely nothing. Why don't you just exit out to the main menu and restart the day like nothing happened? Well, there's another rule that I'm imposing on myself with this challenge, and that's no restarts allowed. If, or really when, I make mistakes like this, I'm gonna have to just tough it out and keep moving forward. It makes my decisions and their consequences all the more meaningful. Anyway, back to the gameplay. Alright, you live and you learn. Let's go to sleep and pray for some more rain and some more good luck with these trees. Yikes. Rainy day, let's go. Okay, that's actually crazy luck. Like, I feel like I've had way more rainy days than I normally do in spring. We're only halfway through spring and we've had what, like almost half of them rainy, like 5 rainy days or something. That's not almost half, but still, that's really good. I think we'll get our last parsnip tomorrow morning. Yes, let's go. All right, 15 parsnips planted and harvested. That is optimal for what we can do here. We'll sell that. 35 gold. Oh, right. Hi, kitty cat. Yeah, I'll take the cat. I'm gonna name it after my actual cat, just because that's why I picked it. Cricket. Funnily enough, I feel like, where'd the cat go? Oh, great. I can't even get to the cat. Come here. I was gonna say, funnily enough, I know that if you get enough hearts, like with your pet, like eventually they start giving you things, they start bringing you things. I was gonna say, funnily enough, this cat might actually be a source of money. But I don't know how long it takes to get to the point where they start bringing you things. But like, I know cats can bring you like fish and snails and, you know, other things that are worth, not nothing. Yes, wait, come here. No. This is just like my cat in real life. Alright, whatever, I'm going to bed. So, I still needed a new plan to progress, and this is what I came up with. Without level 1 foraging, my dreams of being a tree farmer would never come to fruition, so I set my sights on a new goal. Get to level 1 foraging. Lots of things in this game can earn you foraging XP, but with my limited tiles, I was locked to just one: chopping down trees. Right back where we started, except now I knew what I had to do. Instead of planting tree seeds myself, I would have to rely on a mechanic that all trees possess. Each night, for each tree, there's a 15% chance that a random tile up to 3 tiles away is selected to spawn a new tree seed. If that tile is empty and able to grow trees, then a tree seed is spawned and a new tree begins to grow. Similarly, each night, for each tree that is not fully grown, there's a 20% chance for that tree to mature 1 stage, with 5 stages total from seed to tree. This means a new seed will take, on average, 24 days to mature fully, with 90% of trees growing in 38 days or less. Now, I knew this would take a while, so I set to work, waiting and watching for new seeds to spawn on tiles I could reach. When they grew to maturity, I would either chop them down or wait for them to spawn more seeds, such that I never ran out of sources for seeds. And it did take a while. I kept at this, waiting and chopping, week after week, season after season, for over a year, until one fateful day in fall of year 2, when I started to get impatient. Alright, it is now fall. I'm still waiting for the second tree to grow. I told myself I would wait before I chop this first one down, just in case this first one, drops another sapling while I'm waiting. That would be nice. But here's the thing. I've had 400 gold saved up since spring of year 1, right? A year and a half ago. I've been sitting on this 400 gold, dying, killing myself, trying to think of what should I spend it on? What is the most effective use? And really just being terrified of running out of money and not having tiles to spend if I somehow figure out that I need them for something, that it's a make or break situation. I don't think that's happening. I feel confident that I can get to level 1 foraging, and that's gonna really, really change things as far as my ability to grow trees. So here's what I'm thinking. I think I should spend these 4 tiles making progress towards my next goal. And that's obviously getting out of the farm. I don't think buying any more tiles on the farm is really going to help at all. Once I'm able to plant trees, I have enough room. I can plant, maybe half a dozen, maybe even more trees with the tiles that I have access to right now, and start making money and start getting more tiles. So I'm actually gonna unlock these 4 tiles right here. These tiles on the way out, and by doing that now, I'll at least give myself a little extra room to grow some trees. I'll probably be able to reach a couple trees, a couple saplings, chop them down, get a little bit of extra foraging XP. So anyway, that's my thought process. I feel like it makes sense, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. As much as I hate running out of money, or just the thought of it. All right, so we're gonna do this one, we're gonna do this one, and this one, and that gives me now a little bit extra room. We get to pick up that wood from a year ago, and we can reach some more things. So I can't even tell what is going on here, but I think this one is worth chopping down. I can't step here, so I'm guessing... Oh, that's actually this tree. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I can definitely chop that down. And that'll give us some more... Oh! Some more foraging XP is what I was going to say. Oh my gosh. That is huge. That is actually so huge. I have been waiting for these trees to grow. And little did I know, I was one tree, literally one sapling and one tree away from getting level 1 foraging, which is what I've just chopped down over here. That is huge, positively enormous. All right, I'm gonna go to sleep and get that level, because yeah, I wanna actually get the benefits. Let's just sleep right now. Here we go. +1 axe proficiency, not a huge deal. Trees sometimes drop seeds. That is everything to me right now. I can make wild seeds spring. I probably won't be doing that. And I can make field snacks. I also probably won't be doing that. But trees sometimes dropping seeds. I can't believe I have been farming trees without being able to even pick up seeds. That is crazy. Now I can finally chop this tree down. Let me do this. Let me make sure I do this right. I can chop this tree in 10 years. I can chop this tree. Look at that. I can't even pick it up right now, but I can see it on the ground. Let me do this right. Let me make a chest. Can't believe this. I'm like elated. I've been waiting 1.5 years to be able to pick up a tree seed. Alright. We can toss this on the ground. And we can place our chests. I think I'm just gonna stick it like... Can I not place chests here? I think you can place chests here. Anyway, I'm gonna place it... let's place it inside. Stick our tree, our chest, but everything's trees right now in my head. All right, we can put some things in there. That's awesome. And now we can do it. There it is. The item that's gonna change everything about what I've been doing. The maple seed. Now we can finally plant trees, actually propagate and farm them. We're gonna be making so much money, relatively, and we can finally start unlocking tiles to take us off the farm. This is huge. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Tile Locked Valley. This was my first time making something like this. I had a ton of fun making it, and it'll only get more exciting from here. If you feel so inclined, leave me some feedback about the video, subscribe to keep up with the rest of the series, and I'll see you in the next one.